everybody, this is Tina with Rehatch Designs, and I'm here today with the Fun Friday. I am in the process of doing like two different journals, and I'm making some tags and ephemera, and there was something that I needed to do that was a little messy and kind of fun to get ready to do that. So I thought, well, I'll just bring you guys along and we'll have a little bit of fun doing it. Um, I a lot of times do things with napkins. I don't know. Here's my big napkin stash. I don't know if, let me see if I have one I can just zip my gloves here. I have gloves because I'm going to be getting messy. But whenever you have your napkin, you have, um, several layers on there. See if I can do this with my gloves on. And usually with these layers, you end up throwing them away or whatever. Let me get a piece of tape here to get this other one. And I always say save them because, there's so much you can do with them. They're sticking to my glove. I could have done that not in the middle as much as I did, but oh well. In any case, there's usually two layers on there, and take them off, and then you use your napkin, and you know, that's how it works. Is that you're going to use the top part of the napkin, and then you're stuck with these two other pieces. This even has like some residual color on it from the napkin, but that's still very useful. But let me tell you, I like to do things with that. Okay, I like to um, not throw them away and use them. The other thing is when you go to a lot of fast food places, they give you these white napkins all the time. Now these are a little bit thicker. This is only one ply, but it has really cool texture on it. I don't know if you can see that, but save those because you can do the same thing I'm going to do with those. Usually, there's all different kinds with different texture. Here's another one. This one doesn't have any texture or very little, but you can see it's a little bit thicker than what you get from when you pull the napkins apart, but not much. So if you get those extra napkins, not used ones, but ones that you don't use, there's a lot you can do with them. I had this mat out. Um, I like to use different sprays and even different paints and things, but mainly I like to use this as a base a lot of times on tags and things like that, or collage or whatever. If you think about it, it ends up being no different than tissue paper, really. Except you can make it even more interesting if you want to. I've got I've got all of my little sprays out here. Actually, it's not all of them. Got more in there that I'm not using. But one of the things I do, this is my alcohol ink that I make. And you don't have to use alcohol ink. You can use any ink you want to use. I mean, it's not necessary to use alcohol ink, but hopefully this works. Sometimes my sprayers get gucked up and they don't work. So, okay, so I would put that on there. And now that it stopped working, I'll just get another color. It's another color purple. It's a little bit different. I like to have the variation in it. And I'm using my mat just because obviously it's messy. I don't know if I want to put pink. I think I want to put pink or red or something like that. Let me see. Shake this up. Now some of these have a little mica powder in it. And now you've got this really cute, cool looking, it when it dries, you'll have this really fun piece that you can use and, decorate with. I'm gonna put this aside. The only bad thing about this is you have to have room to put all this. And I am going to go ahead and just use this. Keep in mind the alcohol ink is going to stain whatever you use. All right, let me try another one. First, let me wipe this off so that color's not on there. So I'm just going to play around with these a little bit. And here's another one. This is the one that kind of already had that pinkish color on it. It's okay that it's ripped because it's going to wind up getting ripped later anyway. I think on this one, we'll start out with the pink or the purplish pink. Oh, well, it's not spraying. I buy these bottles on Amazon, and I think I showed you guys that a lot of times what I do is I just, do a bunch of alcohol ink all at one time. That's cool. I like that. And then maybe let's put this blue in there. You have the mica powder. You really have to shake it up every time you use it. But when this dries, it'll have a really shimmery look to it. Okay. I don't know. I think I like having some white in there. It looks kind of cool. Let's see what other color I could put in there. I've got this pink. Now these are all my homemade things, so let that dry. These will dry really quick because it's alcohol ink. So I'm thinking about the journals I'm doing and the colors that I need, so there's not enough room for that one in there. And I'm using alcohol to wipe this off. I buy my alcohol at the dollar store. It used to be 50%. Now they have it 70% because I guess they figured out you have to have 70% to be a disinfectant. And so, but I use it to clean with all the time. Okay, let's see. Let's use some of the textured ones. And on this one, I'm going to take a little of this orange or copper color, really. It really looks more brown than it does. And it does have a shimmer to it, so could be interesting to use. I have some yellow here. It's really kind of a gold. I've got to really get that mica to mix. See how that looks. Okay, let's see how that goes. I don't really seem to have a lot of yellow or orange, so. Okay, so I'm going to leave that. Let it dry. And then I'm trying to not use as many paper towels because I have a bunch of these big, this is one of those soft cloths that you get at the dollar store. I love using these to clean. Whenever they have them there, I buy a ton. I use them around the house to dust, which I don't do often, but when I do. Anyway, all right, let's try one of these other napkins that I got and see how that turns out. I don't know if I want to do pink. I don't know if I want to do that color. What color is that? That's more purple. This is interesting. It's kind of a bronzy color. Oh, look at this. The orangey one's almost out. I wonder if there's enough in there to do anything with it. And it's not very colorful. Let me see if there's a good red. Let's see if this one turns out good. I really should, before I use these, just kind of turn them upside down and let them sit for a little while. Okay, that's a good color. I like that. And a lot of this you're not going to see till later, you know, what it looks like, because the shimmer part doesn't really show until after. All right, let me let that dry. Okay, and now we're going to do something a little different. Let me wipe this up. Where'd my alcohol go? There we go. I just know there's stuff on there. I love this mat. I can't even tell you how many times I've gotten stuff on here and not cleaned it off. And, you know, 2 days later, I have a tub of soapy water in my sink. I dump it in there, let it sit for a few minutes, and everything wipes off. Super easy. Let's see. I think I'm going to do some of these pieces again. Yeah. Make another one over here. These are the ones from the napkins. It doesn't really make that much difference, but these are a little bit thinner, and I think they turn out a little bit better. Okay, I'm going to put this away, or at least off to the side. How about that? Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to use a few of my Distress Oxide sprays. And I have a small gel plate. I got this specifically for when I do videos. Haven't used it yet, and that's really so that you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm just going to use my gel plate to put paint on so you can see. I'm going to do that real quick. Maybe I'll move this up here so I have more room. All right, there we go. So hopefully you can see all that. Let me see if you're in there. Yeah, I think we're in camera. Okay, so where did my brayer go? Here we go. I have a little brayer over here that I'm going to use. Maybe, I'm not sure. Okay, so what I want to do on this one, let's see. I'm going to work with the stain, I think, first. And this is Distress Spray Stain and Ripe Persimmon. And I am going to just spray that on. Now this is not as opaque or translucent, I'm sorry, as the other stuff. So it's going to turn out completely different. And let's see, I really want a yellow. Okay, now this is an Oxide spray. It's not a stain. So that's going to be completely different. So this is going to be a completely different look than we got with the other sprays. I think I want to put some of this. I don't know if I want to do that yet. Oh, I know I want to put another color. Okay, I'm going to put this mustard seed. The other one I used was wild honey. And this one's a stain. It's not a spray. It's not an oxide spray. So it will have a little bit different effect. Okay. And these will dry fairly quickly too. They're not going to take forever. So I'm going to put that aside. And I'm going to wipe up this, because if I don't, it'll get on the next one. And even when I'm not using alcohol ink, I still use the alcohol. Now I didn't when we were in a situation where we couldn't get alcohol. That was kind of rough. But now I do. Because it's red, I can get it here. You know, I don't know if everyone can, but put that aside. Okay. What I was going to show you now, let me get the next one. And these are pretty crinkled up, but that's okay because they're going to get crinkled later. And that's because I have them all smushed up in a bag. Because I don't fold them or anything and put them away. Okay, so let's see on this one. I'm trying to remember what it is that I was needing to do. What I was making. I have picked raspberry. And then I have another this is in the oxide spray, and then this is in the stain. And then, let's see, I don't know if I want that. That's too peach. I have Festive Berries. It's kind of peach colored. And Crackling Campfire, those are kind of peach. And well, you know what? Why don't I use these now? I'm going to use these three. All right. And then see how they turn out. I think I'm going to put the stain on first, and this is ripe persimmon. Okay, and then I'm going to put a little bit of Crackling Campfire, which is, I don't know, just a little bit lighter orange. Okay. And then Festive Berries. Let's see what happens. That's a little bit more pink. Oh, my spray is getting clogged up. No, it's kind of overpowering the others. All right, I think what I'm going to do with that, because it's a little bit too pink and too orange for me, is I'm going to add some yellow to that. I don't know if I want the wild honey in there. I think we're going to go with the mustard seed, and this is a stain. So it's going to be similar to what the other one is. This is kind of a greenish color. So we'll see. All right. I'm going to go, I don't know if I need any more yellow on there. Maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit. Just a little. Okay, that's good. I think I like that now. All right, so this is going to sit aside, and I'm going to do one more. Okay, this last one, let me wipe this off. Figure out where I put my alcohol. Not the best, when you use these sprays, they can get all over, so you need to have, I have a pretty good area here beyond what you see, so it doesn't cause too much damage, but you could use a spray box or something. Okay, so this one I want to make for like an ocean type look. And I have a couple of these that I did already that I'm going to use. And these are, this is just the alcohol ink that I sprayed on here, just like I did with those other ones. Okay. And this is where, let me wipe this off a little. Got under there. Seems like it wouldn't be able to, but it did. Okay, so I'm going to take my little gel plate here, and what I'm going to do is take some of my, this is Distress Spain Picket Fence, and I'm just going to put a little on there and take my brayer and just kind of go across the little, I'm not pressing very hard. I'm trying to get it to go just on the cracks, mainly. I guess you could use a brush, probably would work well. I might try that, but I don't want to dip it in there because I don't want it to just be blobs on there. I'm trying to get it to where, let me try a light brush and see how that works. Let's take this sponge brush and see if I can do it with that. It's a little easier. And all I'm trying to do here, I'm going to get the stuff off the sides too, I might as well, is just get a little bit more white in there and try and get it on the cracks that are already there. I think I need a little water on there. I'm just going to get some water. Kind of loosen that up a little bit. And I'm just doing that because when I put this on what I'm going to put it on, I want it to look a little bit more, I don't know, like it has waves. And so this is just picking up the cracks in it. It is ripping it a little bit, but that's okay. And that's because I'm being too rough with it. This is tissue paper, so. All right, I think that's probably enough. A little bit more right here. I'm gonna let that dry. Okay. Then I've got another one over here. And make sure I put more little wrinkles in it because that's what I want. Okay. And you can see I used, I hope you can see it, I used several different blues on this, okay? So what that did is it kind of, you know, gave it a cool look. I think what I'm going to do on that is I want a little bit of green on there. Let me see. I think I'm going to use this peeled paint, and it's an Oxide spray. And I'm just going to put it right over the white. Okay. And then I think maybe add a little water too. Oh, almost picked up my alcohol. And then I'm just going to take that. Okay. And just barely go over the top with it. And I will show you a couple of things that we do with this, just to kind of give you an idea of why I'm doing this. But usually when I do this, I do a bunch all at one time, and then I just kind of have them in my bag, just like I do my, you know, just like I do my other napkins. So, okay. Now I like that okay, but let me put a little bit more on the edges. I want to add another color to that. I don't know if I have it in the spray. Let me look. This is Shabby Shutter, and it's just, I don't want to make it so gray. I think I want to go either peacock feathers or broken china. I want more of a turquoise color. I've got tumble glass. I don't know. Broken china. Let me try the tumble glass and see how that looks. And if it doesn't, I know a color that will work. Anyway, I'm just kind of mixing this a little bit. And see how that looks. It's really just a lighter version. It's not really giving me what I want. Let me try the tumble glass again. Let me see. I have cracked pistachio here in the pad. Let me get that off of there so it's not gonna contaminate it too much. I'll just use this. That way I can pick all this up and use it later. It's another thing. If you have a bunch of these, use your other papers for like to mop up, because then you can use them later. Because you're just, all you want to really do is put color on them. Okay, I'm gonna put this cracked pistachio down. It doesn't look like much, but it'll be more than you think. Yeah, that's a little better, not a lot. I don't think you're gonna be able to notice it. I'm just trying to get some different colors on there. I don't know that you'll really notice it in the end, but we'll see. Okay, and then I'm going to put a stain on there, and that is the Salty Ocean on top of it. And I'm just lightly spraying that, listing little spots. All right, and I think I may just put a little bit of water on that because it's gonna all kind of blend together a little bit, and that's what I want. Okay, so now I'm gonna just let this, I know it looks like a big mess, but it'll look cool later. I'm just gonna let that kind of sit over here. Now I'm going to just kind of clean up my mess a little bit, and I will be right back, and I'll show you um, through the magic of editing, what we're going to do with the, I keep doing that to my hands, what we're going to do with our, um, our little products here that I just made. Okay? Okay, so I went ahead and all of these are dry, so we're ready to do the next step. And I just have some tags here just to give you an idea. You don't have to do tags. You can do multimedia, um, anything you want. Um, Honestly, what this does is it adds texture to what you're doing and color at the same time. Um, Let me give you an idea of what they look like first. Here is the one that we did with the distress inks, and it's very bright. And, um, that may not be what you want, but it's a good base for things, and you can tear off pieces, put it on things, um, use it, um, like I said, in mixed media. But anyway, that to me, I like how it looks. And I don't know if there's a wrong or a right side to this, but um, just the variation in color I like. So um, now here is done with just the sprays, the alcohol ink, and this is very muted, and this could be really, really a great base for something. Here's another one, and this is done with that other napkin. It has some really cool texture on it. It doesn't have a lot of variation in color, but that's okay because you can always add more color on top of it. The same with this one. I think the color kind of just, all kind of smushed together is too close, but that's okay because, and this was just the alcohol ink. It gives you enough of variation that, it has some movement to it. Now this one we did, and it had, a lot different color in it. So, and that was with that, just the alcohol ink too. And you can see the mica glistening in it. And so that's kind of cool. But anyway, that, you know, you can see a little bit more. This is the one that we put the white on with it. And I really like how that turned out. And I like all the wrinkles, and I like how it's kind of, uh, muted, but yet you can see the different colors in it. And here's the last one we did. And that ended up having a lot more green in it than I thought I would, but I don't dislike it. Um, I think it has really cool spots in it. So anyway, I just kind of want to show you what I would do with this. Let's see if I can find my craft knife. I'm going to just do stuff with tags for now just to kind of show you. And I'll do this and make a bunch of these and just have them on the side. Because I don't always know, what I'm going to be making. I have an idea sometimes, what journals I'm doing in the near future, but I don't know exactly what I'm going to do. Okay, so I will usually put something down um, with this, and um, I like to use this texture paste opaque crackle, and it gives it kind of a crackle finish to it. But I'm going to put it down with this matte gel, and if you wanted to, you could put some gesso on first before you put that on there, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to skip the gesso part. I may add gesso later, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to use my matte gel, and you could just use regular glue. And I am going to, where'd my brush go? I guess I'll just use this. Let me wet that a little bit. Okay. And I'm going to just take that. Nothing really special. I'm just putting something, a thin coat on here just so I can put my napkin down. Now I'm going to put the whole thing down, and you don't have to use the whole thing. All right, I'm going to just might as well just do this one. And even though it's ripped, that's fine. I am going to crumple it up even more than it was because I want wrinkles, okay? Wrinkles are good. And I am just going to, let's see, which side do I want? I think I want this side. And I'm going to just kind of go over it a little bit, and I am going to lay it on there and leave it wrinkled. And the more wrinkled it is, the happier I am with it. It's a little bit too. And I'm just going to try and get that all down as much as I can. Try not to have any bubbles. If I have any bubbles, go back in there, make sure it goes down. Make sure all the edges are down. I have a few spots right here. It seemed like it dried before I put it down. Okay. So I'm going to get that all smushed in there. I want all the wrinkles. There's a bubble right there. So I got to get that bubble out. I'll put some more down. Okay. I need a little bit more. There we go. I just wanted to make sure the ends are down there good. Not a big deal if it rips or something, because that's just another wrinkle. So it's no big deal. We're striving for imperfection, because the more imperfect it is, the better it's going to look. Okay. Where'd my scissors go? Okay, and I would normally probably wait till this dries, if I wasn't in a hurry. And I'm not going to cut this all the way because I'll come back later. And also save the other pieces. Keep those in your little napkin thing because honestly, there's a lot you can do with these. They add so much texture to things. And you need to realize too that we use distress spray on this, so it is going to react to the glue because the glue has water in it. It's a liquid. So you're still going to get like a reaction with this. Okay. And I will do this more once it dries. But I am going to go ahead and put, wrong thing, this crackle medium over it and see if it cracks a little bit more. Okay. And I put plastic on mine this time because the last time it actually dried out pretty quick. So I'm just going to use the same brush and kind of go over it. And it's supposed to be opaque, so we'll see. I mean, it's not completely clear, so let's see if it works. I don't know. I've never done it for this. I've done it for like on a tag with paint, so we shall see. I'm just experimenting with it. And here's all the wrinkles. And I do know that whenever I've used this, it works out better if I let it air dry. So I'm hoping it'll be done in time. Now that has a bubble right there, so I don't know. Let's see if I can get that down a little bit better. I might have to cut it and put some glue in there. I keep going for my gesso instead of glue. I'm just putting glue and then kind of smushing this around a little. And then I'm going to patch it and put a little piece on top. Oh, that's not big enough. That's sticking to my fingers. Okay. I don't know how this is going to work, guys. We shall see. I have no clue. It already has wrinkles in it. So it could. My big thing is I want to make sure that some of the blue shows up on the inside, and if it doesn't, well, I'll just add more color to it. Put that back on there. Anyway, like, I don't know, maybe it's completely dried up. It's not use much of it, but still, you'd like to, get more than a couple of uses. And so, anyway, and I don't think it was that long in between uses either. It wasn't like it was, maybe a month. So, I just think it should last longer than that. So, anyway, I think that'll have some good little wrinkles on it. Got another spot right there. I got to quit looking for those because I'll keep finding them, I'm sure. Okay. Yeah, it's all right in the middle right there. So it's going to have to put more. Let me get another little brush and go in there and do that. It's all in one little spot. Must have been dry. Didn't have any glue. There we go. You will not be able to tell. Okay. Now I'm going to go over the edges just to make sure that they're down. And when I'm done, I'm going to kind of sand on it. And it doesn't really matter if it's perfect. You're not trying to go for that. So you're just looking for a background. And I don't know. It says opaque, which is, we'll see. If it's too white, then I probably won't use it of anything again. But that's how you learn how to do things, is you experiment. So I am going to put that aside. The main thing I'm looking for on this is texture. Okay. The color, I can always add more color later, but I'm mainly looking for texture. And if it has a little color with it, that's great. Okay, so I'm going to put that aside. All right, even though we have a huge mess here, let me wipe some of it up. Okay. Put this in my little thingy here. I have a little water thing next to me at all times because I have learned that I'm really bad about, putting my brushes and cleaning them. And now my stencils are such a mess. That I've decided that anytime I use my stencils, I'm going to have a little bucket of water next to me, or a little tub of water, because I have destroyed my stencils. So anyway, okay, so now what I want to do, I have a tag that I want to get done. Which one did I want to use for that? I think I'm going to use this one. I had these napkins flying everywhere. And I just want to see how this one turns out. And I just take these off because usually I either put them back on or I put a metal one on. So I don't know if I'll use them later. All right, so now I'm going to just take this and scrunch it up a whole lot more than it is. Now this one we did just with the alcohol ink. There's um, no other color on this. And I am going to make this really simple. I am just going to take, oh yeah, I like that. And I like the colors in it. So I'm going to take just my Liquitex. Just seems like it's a little thick. I'm going to spray a little water in it. Let's see, what brush do I want to use for that? I'll just use this bigger one right here because I need to mix this up a little. I need to get more too. I'm almost done with this stuff. You can use white glue, Mod Podge, anything you want to use. I'm just going to put some, basically put glue on here. Make sure I got it all over. And then I'm going to leave it as squunched on there as possible. Even create more wrinkles if I can. That's coming off the side. I don't want that. Okay. Now, you do have to put something on top. So I didn't put the crackle on, so I'm going to go ahead and take this and just go over the top with it. But I'm going to try not to press too hard and take the wrinkles out because I want the wrinkled on. The whole point of doing this napkin stuff is to have texture. And if you smooth it out, then, obviously, and press too hard, you're going to have too much texture. So, you don't want that. Now, the one thing to remember, too, is on any of these, if you don't like the color 100%, you definitely can add more color, or you can change it a little bit. This is just like the first stage. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and that ripped a little in the corner, and I'm going to patch it. But I'm also going to cut it first. And that's mainly because when you first do this, I usually just let it dry and then cut it, because it's very fragile when it's wet. But that's okay. For our purposes, we're going to do this. It'll still turn out good, I promise. And I have been doing a lot of mixed media lately, a lot of it off camera. And I like to use this stuff in mixed media because it adds so much texture and color at the same time. Alrighty. Make sure all those little ends are down good. And I'll patch anywhere I think I need to patch. Not a big deal if you have to patch it, guys, because honestly, nobody will ever know. It just adds another wrinkle. And if you wanted to put a whole nother layer on here, if you want more color, you could. Nobody would know. In fact, that could add, a lot more texture to it, too. So, another piece down here. I'm going to let it hang over and I'll cut it later. You already have glue on there, so if you need to add something to it, now's the time to do it. Okay, there's something going on over here, and that's the end of it. I gotta pull that off. There we go. Okay. So now I'm gonna let that dry. And then I'm gonna do one more. Where did that piece go? Oh, here it is. I don't know, maybe two more. We'll see. So I have an idea of what I want to do. I just don't know if I'll have enough time to do everything. Let's do this one. I think this one's really cool. Like right here. This time I'm just going to leave that on. Go right over it. Okay. I really am running low on this stuff. I have to order more. Okay, move that up. Okay, let me see what I want to do here. Do I want to go? I think I want to go like this. Let me go right here. Oh, you know what? I don't think it has enough wrinkles. Let me kind of smush it up a little bit more. Oh, there's not enough on the side. Let me move it over. Okay, there we go. I just want it to have a few more little wrinkles in it, and I could have bunched it up a little bit more. But this one was the one that I sprayed with water, so it's a little bit more delicate. Yeah, there we go. I like that a little better. Okay, so let me get that up. Oh, it's not down all the way right there, is it? Okay. There's a few tears, but again, we'll fix that. Oh, it's stuck to the bottom. I had a lot of glue sitting on the bottom before I started this. Okay. This one I want very, very textured because I have something specific in mind for it. So, I mean, you could see using this stuff for like, if you make a fairy journal or an ocean journal or, gosh, anything that really requires kind of a lot of texture. Okay, so I ripped that. That's okay. Do that. Put that right back. Okay, that little corner needs to be fixed. So we need to get that in there. There we go. Oh, it's stuck to my fingers, so I just have to make this stickier than my fingers. Okay. And it doesn't matter if it's all the way on there because we're going to add other color to this later. So on this one, I'm just going to take my Liquitex or white glue or whatever, and I'm just going to go over it and make sure I have plenty of glue on there. Okay. And then again, remember we used the Oxide sprays, so they will react a little bit to this. Okay. I won't let that dry. And then I'm going to do one more, and I'm going to show you what they look like. I'm probably not going to be able to show you what the tags look like or going through the process of decorating them, but I will show you what they look like done because I like to see things, the finished product, so I'm sure you do, but I'll go ahead and decorate them and then I'll put them at the end of the video. But I do want to show you what these look like when they're dry. So that's that one. Put it aside. Okay. And then I had one more I wanted to do. I want to do one with this really bright one because I have in mind I'm going to add some other colors to it. So um, again, I'm just going to go right over this. I'm not even going to pull that thing off so we can move faster. I do want this one more scrunched up. Definitely more scrunched up. And honestly, guys, this is such a cool way to have a base on your tag. All right, so here we go. Nice and wrinkly. And I think I'm going to go, I don't know, more toward the middle. Because I want enough of a, you know, variation in color. More water in there. I really am running low on this stuff. Ooh, I don't know. I use it all the time, so. I do not want to run out, that's for sure. Make sure I order some today. Maybe I'll go. I know people have said that Hobby Lobby and Michael's are having sales. Maybe I'll go and see if they have any there. My experience is I can get it cheaper off of Amazon than I can there. So even with the coupon half the time. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. It has kind of a line in the middle there, so maybe I don't want to use that. Okay, so maybe I will use this part right here. It has one on the bottom too, but it's not as noticeable. Okay. I'm going to kind of mush that around. And I know this one's bright, but I'm going to do something with it later, so. Okay, that has like a big spot right there, so I got to put some glue down there and not put so much. Okay. Now let me do that. Scissors are here. Okay. And the reason I wait usually until it's dry to do the scissors is because it'll pull it a little bit if you're, but that's okay. It does make it easier to work with if you don't have the big extra pieces sitting off the side, so. And I don't throw away those pieces because I love using those. Okay. Now I'm just going to put some on top. And just look at all this great texture you're getting, right? Okay. Now on this one, what I want to do, if I can get all this down, there's a few spots where it's on there pretty thick, so anyway, what I want to do with this when it's done is I am going to add crackle to this too, but I want to let that dry first. I'm going to try and experiment. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and come back and show you what these look like when they're all done. Not as far as the tags go, but as far as the different finishes, and that way you can see how you can use this, your paper, your paper that you would normally throw away, as a great way to add texture to tags, to covers, to whatever it is you're going to use. So anyway, I will be right back. Okay, everybody. So I decided that what I was going to do is just kind of show you the base rather than the finished product. Just so that we would have time to go over what you do, what the kind of things you can do next. Um, what you want to do after it's completely dry, and make sure it's completely dry, is just go around the edges and, um, just kind of cut them off and even them out. And we're going to go here. And I always do it from the back so I can see what I'm doing. And I'll always add like coffee dyed paper or something to the back of this and sew around it. So I'm not too concerned what it looks like on the back. That's kind of something I worry about later. Okay. Maybe cut that down a little bit more up here. And I use my fussy cutting scissors just so I like to get in there nice and close. And now what I do is I take a sanding block, or you can take a nail file, do the same thing. And I just go around the edges, and that just takes off any loose pieces. And it doesn't really matter if you end up, if you cut a little bit off that or comes off, that because we can fix it, and I'll show you how. But anyway, you're going to just do that all the way around. Now, when I do this, a lot of times when I put a napkin on, if I put it on something I sanded after to make it smooth, I don't do this on that because I want all these wrinkles. And, I worked hard to get them in here. So let me show you how they looked. Okay, so here's the one that had the bright colors in it. And I just think that turned out amazing. And there's a lot you can do with that. And I'll show you what we're going to do with it in a minute. Here is the one that we put the crackle on. And I hope you can see the crackle. Because honestly, it really looks cool. Even though it covered and it's opaque, I love that color and everything. We're going to do something with that. And it's going to be really, really cool. So, and then here is the one that had a lot of, it had the alcohol ink on it, and it had the distress ink and the distress oxide. So, the distress stain and the distress oxide, excuse me. So, I love how those wrinkles turned out in that. Really, really looked good. And then here's this other one. This is the lightest that we did out of all of that. Okay, so what I want to show you is something that you can do that's going to bring out the cracks even more. And this is Stains by Patty Pockets. You could use Distress ink, and I am going to do that on one, just so that you can see how that works. Okay, I don't know which one I'll use that on. I think I am going to use this on this one right here, and then actually let me try it on this one first. Okay, there we go. And what that is going to do, let me get a soft brush here. I have so many. This one's pretty soft. And it is what the great thing about having all these cracks is that this stuff will go in the cracks. And I'm using it on this one because I want to tone this down a little bit. And this will tone down the color. And it honestly should not, at this point, affect the background because we've already put the Liquitex matte gel on top. So it shouldn't move the color anymore. I'm putting that on there. Okay. So that's going to tone that down a little bit, and then I'm going to put a little bit of a stain, a little more of a finish on there, and as soon as that dries, okay. I wanted to put that all over. Oh, got a napkin fell down. Just because I wanted to kind of tone that down. Okay. Let's see. What was I going to do on this one? I forgot. Oh, okay. On this one, I'm just going to take, let me move this over here so you can see it. Put that in the water. I'm just going to take my Distress ink, and this is just Vintage Photo. Put it on here with just a little bit of water. And let's see, which one did I want to use? I want to use, let's see, this brush will work good. And I am going to just take that and go across this. And my thing for doing this is mainly because it has all these cracks on it. And I want you to be able to see them. I'm going to try and wipe up some of this off before it completely dries. Where's my wipes go? They're buried under here somewhere. Oh gosh, where's my wipes? I don't know. Oh, there they are. Anyway, what you want to do is what this is going to do is it's going to give it a little bit more of a way to see all the little cracks in there. Okay. Give it more of a kind of a rustic type, you know. Now, if you want to add more color back to this, you can. My goal was to kind of make it look very, very old. Like kind of like old plaster. And that's kind of, you know, okay, that part ripped a little, but that's okay. We'll fix it. We'll fix it. Probably have something over it anyway, so. But anyway, that's kind of what you want to do. Is it will definitely fall in all those cracks. I love the crackle finish on things. It just brings it up a notch as far as making things look old. Wipe a little bit off. Okay, I think that turned out pretty good. I do think it could use a little bit more color and spots. And I think what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to take I have Salty Ocean and Cracked Pistachio. Let me wipe that off first. Let me get that and put that right there. A little bit of water. And I'm just going to barely kind of go in spots with this. I'm just putting color back on. Okay. Just to kind of do kind of a wash. And I'm just trying to build up layers, really, is what I'm doing. And what's so great about the napkin and the crackle, and when it just the way it looks is when it's layered is just so cool. Okay, so now let me get some of this. And this is the cracked pistachio. I love that color. I don't know why, I just do. I'm going to take some of that. I'm using the same brush, and it's very watered down, so put some of that up here. You know, I'm letting it drip. I want it to drip. You know, I want it to react. It's okay with me. The more layers, the better. Right? Gonna mix those two together. I'm gonna let it run down there and drip because I like that. And I'm gonna take my, where did it go? Here it is. I'm gonna take this. I think the cracked pistachio would look the best. And I'm gonna take that and just kind of go around the edges. Get that much on there. Just to kind of help with any of the spots that may have come loose. Right? Like there's one down there. It's pretty bad. Just put that on there. Put a little blue in there. And that's just going to add to the overall texture of this. So and anyway, you get the idea. Just go around and add color where you want to add it. You can certainly, I can get this on there, spray more color on there too if you want to. You don't have to just do this. My only issue when I do the spray is it's not as controlled, and I'm trying to, you know, somewhat control this. So anyway, let's see here. Okay. I mean, I think I can work on that a little bit more, but it definitely, if you wanted to also, you could take a brush like this and then just, you know, lightly go across. And because you have all this texture, it's going to pick up the, you know, it'll pick up the color. So that's really cool. And then you'll still see all the cracks. I need to lay it down to do it. You know? I mean, that's just a cool way of coming up with something that's a great base for your card. Okay, we've got that one spot there we need to fix, but that's okay. I mean, I think it looks pretty good so far. And you keep working with it until you get it the way you want it. But honestly, guys, that's just really a fun way to add color and texture and come up with a really cool tag. The next one, what I was going to do is take that. This one's not dry yet, so I can't do what I was going to do, but I'll show you in a little bit. On this one, wipe that off. Just put a little water on there just to be safe. This one, I just want to take, I guess I'll just use it on here, my Distress ink. And all I'm going to do on that is I am just going to go over this. And that is going to really, move that for a second. That is really going to pick up all the cracks and everything in it. And that's all we're doing to it. So, And this is just a base for something that you would use. Get the blue out of there. Right? Okay, so we're doing that. And it just completely changes the look. And take this. Okay. And you can do that. You could go back and put an orange on there to make, instead of that. And it just depends on how dark you want to make it, okay? So, I personally think this would be great for so many different styles of tags that you could do. And you could do more if you want to. There's other spots in here that definitely could use it. But anyway, that's how that looks. And look how cool that is, right? I mean, there's just so many things you could do with that, okay? This one, it's really bright and everything, and I don't know that I would want to tone that down too much. So I think on that one, I'm going to take my Salty Ocean and I'm going to take that and I'm going to go ahead and get some on there. And first I'm going to go all the way around with it to kind of, fix the edges. All right, now see, just doing that, it made a huge difference. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it, and because we have so much green in it, I'm going to go ahead and just go over the cracks with the blue. And what it'll do is it'll pick up the cracks more and it'll add more blue to it. And I'm just lightly going over it. I'm not really pressing hard. And that is, how cool does that look now, right? You can really see all the cracks in there. So that is, I think, super good. And then the last one, let me see if I can dry that real quick so I can show you what I want to do. Okay, so what this did is it gave it kind of a really cool patina. I love it. I mean, I love how it is. Now, what I would do with this is we're going to take it up one more notch. I am going to use, which one am I going to use? What's the darkest one? I think it's this one. I am going to use, no, I don't think it is. Oh, here we go. This is Rub and Buff, and it's just a, yeah, that's good. That's why I still have my gloves on. I was going to go ahead and just take a little bit of this and go over the top. And let me tell you what, guys, very lightly. I put it on with one finger and I rub it with the other. Because what I'm trying to do is pick up just the color, mainly on the cracks. I mean, some of it's going to get on the bottom, but I'm mainly trying to get the cracks with this. A little bit more. And see, that's way too much to put on there, so you really have to go very, very lightly. I'm going fast, but you guys take your time. And you just kind of rub it in. And what that will do is all those little cracks will pick up that gold. And it will Really cool. And it tones down the other color. I really should have done this in a pink color because that's kind of what I had in my head. But, oh, see, there's too much right there. So I'm going to try and get that off if I can. And I should be able to rub some of it off. Because, honestly, I've got enough stuff on there. That's okay. It'll be all right. Anyway, so I just do that. And then, a little bit more right down here. And as I said, I'm going really fast, so you guys go slow. And then I would take some and put it all around the edges. You know, just to kind of finish it off. Just around the edges. And you guys, this makes such a cool card base. There's so many different types of things you could use it for. And you know, you don't have to use bright colors like this either. You can use subtle colors. But I wanted you to see all the possibilities of what you can do with these. Doesn't that look cool? It really looks cool. We have a little spot right there where the stuff came off, but we'll fix that. If you have any spots like that, just go in there with your paint, whatever color you used, and touch it up, and it'll be fine. Here's the one that all we did is add a little bit of Distress ink, and honestly, I think it could use more. I think it needs more ink. Let me see. I think it could use more. Yeah, I want this to look, you know, very vintagey. Yeah. So that is that one. Okay. Here's the blue and green one, and it was mainly all green, and then we added blue to the cracks to kind of bring that out more. Now, if you wanted to, you could come back in here with some white gesso and go over it, and even add, you know, pick up some white in there. That'd be kind of cool. But I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. So, and this one I think is really cool. It has all the cracks in it. It's very old looking. Might not be your cup of tea, but that's kind of what I would do. I think this needs more distress ink on the edges too to kind of make it match. So anyway, that is all I have today, guys. I thought we'd have some fun and work with our napkins and get them all looking, you know, just everything that you can do with them. You know, the sky's the limit, but all that texture, it just makes everything look so cool. You could do whole pages like this. I just did it on tags to kind of show you. So anyway, I'll see you again next time. You guys have a great weekend and enjoy.